Alright everyone, and so I have finally seen Stranger Things, The First Shadow. This is the Broadway play, and especially as this was a play that was exclusively in London, but now it has come to the US, and last night I finally got to experience the Broadway play for myself, especially to witness, especially as someone that really likes this show, and I have to say, they really pull off brilliantly, especially exploring the old days of Hawkins, introducing a young Henry Creel, especially with the amazing performances, the sound design, and so much more. But there's so much I want to gush about right now. And so this will be my review for the play, and this will be full, not spoiler, and go over my thoughts and my impressions, especially for how this can play into the final season of Stranger Things itself. So a lot to go over and talk about. And so, if you're new, then be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so it's on any future bits. But now, I want to get into it right now. And now, when it comes to Stranger Things, it is kind of crazy how it's become from just a show on Netflix, and now that it has grown to become the biggest show ever, and now that it has expanded to become a Broadway production called Stranger Things, The First Shadow, because there are so many stories to be told in the world of Hawkins and the Upside Down, and specifically in the universe of Stranger Things, and especially with this play that takes place in Hawkins 1959, and this is before the events of the actual show that takes place in 1983, and we're seeing like a group of young kids in Hawkins High School, and giving us a young version of Henry Creel, and it giving us the story of his life, and even with my experience going into it, I had no idea what to expect, but I think I was blown away for how well they did it, and it's especially for what the Duffer Brothers pulled off in the actual show itself, and now to bring it on stage with like actual actors on Broadway. It is very cool to witness that, and with Henry Creel's life that is showcased through the lens unlike anything that we've ever seen. It is served with fresh material that is engaging, not only from the storytelling, but for the representation of the show. And even though I really like Stranger Things, and for that show has explored so many things, especially with the Upside Down and the lore and the material. But for what the show really opens up about Henry Creel, and especially through his life in Hawkins High School, with everyone being introduced to him, I kind of fell in love with it. I was on the edge of my seat, and it is totally well paced, especially with the script and how well like characters are introduced without having it feeling dull. And plus, if you are a fan of the show, or if you have not seen the show, I mean, you should definitely should, but you should definitely go out to see this play. It is a totally amazing. There's like so much stuff that I really want to gush about. Like for what we've seen in Stranger Things season 4 with Henry Creel, and also Vecna as well, and that is pretty much explored here, but in like a different light, and it felt like watching the actual show, but through the lens of the Broadway play. And throughout the duration of the play, I love exploring Hawkins in the old days. It gives us a much more deeper meaning, and especially for how we usually see the show from here, especially with the kids that are being introduced to Henry, and how it really sets the tone to take a sinister turn. It was really fascinating to me how it all came to be, how like things later on in the play are revealing. There are many twists and many turns, especially towards the end, and with many relationships that are explored in terms of character chemistry and the dynamic. It is really amazing, and I definitely like the chemistry between Henry and Patty Newby, and their chemistry is explored off the charts. I mean, it is amazingly brilliant acting. There are amazing performances from everyone. They did a great job, and also with Henry Creel played by Lewis McCartney. I mean, the dude is going places. He pulled off an amazing performance. Just for how he was able to bring Henry Creel to life, and for what the Duffers pulled off with the show's version of Henry Creel, played by Jamie Kimball Bower, but in the actual play itself, like, it is totally, like, out of this world amazing. It is so good, and just for how it is really settled in, or like how Hawkins' lab was introduced, even for how like the show starts and for how it ends, and it really makes it feel like Stranger Things, like you're a part of the show, you're a part of the actual experience, and that's what the play perfectly represents itself, especially with fans that fell in love with the show but now want to see storytelling explored even further. And on top of with the sound design and the set pieces to make it look real, and it makes you feel like you're a part of the experience, like you're a part of the actual Netflix show, because hey, it expanded and now to become a play like this, but this is on like a totally different budget, but I can tell like the use of the visuals, and specifically with the layout, and it's unlike anything that we've ever seen on Broadway. And yeah, this is totally unlike any other type of experience that I've ever witnessed. The cast definitely pulled off some really great performances, and even with Dr. Brenner, and just for the way things are revealed. But even though I don't want to get into too much, but especially for how it ended, and oh boy, I think the entirety in some details gets me so excited for season 5 of Stranger Things even more. And now for what I want to get into right here is, will some of the events in the play will actually have a role in the final season of Stranger Things, season 5? And the answer to that is maybe, or a little bit, because this show is exploring Henry Creel's life. It's basically his origin story, and for what they explore from beginning to end, from his time in Hawkins High, and it's especially with Hawkins Lab and Dr. Brenner and his relationships with people, for how people discover him for who he truly is, and just for how he is explored in the actual Stranger Things show, but now to explore him in the actual play for what is really going on. And towards the end, as I said, it is filled with many reveals and something to get you excited about. Even though you don't have to see the play in order to have a required viewing for what's going to happen in season 5 of Stranger Things, but it is good to have an idea for like what this play actually showcases, like, you know, the Creel house, the origin of Henry Creel, and in fact not in general, but hey, it is a really good Broadway play. I mean, go get tickets, go out and see this play. And for my final consensus and thoughts, I really enjoyed it. Stranger Things, The First Shadow, and it is really breathtaking. It is an absolute banger of a Broadway production, and with the way with this show, it is explored through like so many layouts throughout Hawkins, and how the Upside Down is explored from the storytelling to the actual script, and to actually being taken like on stage, and what the Duffer Brothers have pulled from their minds to have this show really to be like an expansive, not only to the lore of Stranger Things, but to this specific play production in general. And I enjoyed every single minute of it. I mean, bravo to the cast, especially with Lewis McCartney for bringing Henry Creel to life. And even if you're a longtime fan, or a casual goer in general that is intrigued by theater or like dark plays, go out and see this play. Plus, I don't know if it's a required viewing for season 5, but you should definitely check it out just in case. But yeah, those are my thoughts in general. But that's good for this video. Just let me know in the comments down below, and if this review makes you excited to see Stranger Things: The First Shadow, and if you've already seen it, give me a rating between 1 out of 10. And if this play or what you see it makes you excited for season 5 of Stranger Things even more, just let me know all in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe and turn on notifications for future videos, and also follow all my social medias all linked down below. And with that, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.